The moon into blood is the day of the Lord. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shemal Shai B'Shem Kodash. It's going to be quick unless the Most High, Spirit of the Most High jumps on me to go beyond this particular subject. Anyway, someone just, this is the second person that asked me a question concerning the moon into blood. And the moon into blood in Joel 2, verse 31, Acts 2, verse 21, and Revelation 6, verse 12. And we're going to read those verses. It's not talking about an eclipse, when a lunar eclipse. When the Lord was on the cross and there was darkness for 3 hours from the, 6 hours of the day to the 9th hour of the day, which was what, 6? From 12 to 3 in the afternoon, so you can understand. So 12 noon is when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. And 3, the sun is kind of starting to go down. So when it became dark, now the Most High could have made it dark, performed a miracle, but it was actually a lunar eclipse. Look up lunar eclipse. Now, like I said, the Most High could have just said, okay, I'm gonna make it dark. But the logical explanation is that it was a lunar eclipse. You have solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. You have, meteorites, shooting stars. And when you go to Genesis 1, verse 14, it tells you about the 3 lights, sun, moon, and stars. The stars have constellations, right? Those 3 lights, mainly the moon, is for signs, seasons, and days and years, right? And you also had what they call eclipses, which is a sign from the Most High. Now, these devils, calculated the signs and as to when they're going to come, and when the last one came and the next one's going to come. But let me just read these precepts here, and I'm gonna read where it says the moon and the blood, but I'm gonna read the whole verse. I may jump up a verse or 2 above and go a verse or 2 below. This is Joel 2, verse 31. Let me go a couple of verses above. The sun being turned into blood, which, by the way, a lunar eclipse, they call it blood moon. But the moon turning to blood in Joel 2 and Acts 2, and also in Revelation 6, represents the destruction. Okay, so it says the day of the Lord, or the day of Yahweh. And the day of Yahweh is when he comes back and shows himself. Let me do this. The day of the Lord. Let me just put that in. the day of the Lord, or the day of the Lord of hosts, Isaiah 2, verse 12, shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, that's Esau, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. That's Esau. Esau is the proud and lofty. Isaiah 13, verse 6, howl ye, for the day, singular, not days, the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. 9th verse, Isaiah 13 and 9, behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. To remember, day, singular, not days, day. And the day of the Lord is also known as the time of Jacob's trouble. To lay the land desolate, what land? Babylon the Great, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof. Those are people that don't, their eyes are not open. Jeremiah 46, verse 10, for this is the day of the Lord, power of hosts, a day of vengeance. I don't got to read anymore. Ezekiel 13, verse 5, ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. One day. Ezekiel 30, verse 3, for the day is near, even the day, singular, of the Lord is near, a cloudy day. It shall be the time of the heathens, because they're going to be destroyed, starting with Esau. Every time it makes a reference of the day of the Lord, Obadiah 1, verse 15. I'm not going to read all of the precepts. For the day of the Lord, singular, day is near upon all heathen nations. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. You reap what you sow. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. The great day of the Lord. It's only one day. So nobody can say, I, in the past tense, experienced the day of the Lord. That was during the time when we left at it. No. There's only one day of the Lord, and it's yet to come. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, Zechariah 14 and 1. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, or Yahweh, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Because we're going to get the riches of the nations. All wealth is going to be transferred to us. Even Paul says it, 1 Corinthians 5, verse 5, to deliver such a one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord of the Most High. So what was Paul saying that? When you read a couple of verses above that, anybody that went off, the Apostle Paul pronounced judgment against that individual, and the Most High put judgment on that individual, not necessarily killing that person, but doing something to him to make him get right. That's why it says that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shai. You got a lot of guys that are unruly, that they're doing their own thing. And what makes you stop doing that wrong thing? When you start getting judged by the Most High. Your woman might leave you. Anything could happen. You might get sick to the point that you die and the Most High deliver you. Oh, a good example is Bishop Nathaniel. He keeps getting sick. And then he gets better. Then he called when he kind of came back about 2 months ago. He said he mentioned Yahweh, first time in years, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And then after a couple of weeks, he went back to calling on Christ. So the Most High might have to dip him again, so he can be saved in the what? In the day of the Lord. It says, Let me read again. To deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh. You can be sick to the point of death. Like I said, let me go up a couple of verses. Oh, that's all we need. Okay, it says your glory, 6th verse. Your glorying is not good. No, know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So we should know what that means. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. If the whole lump, if you go off a little bit, it becomes a cancer. It says, purge out there, therefore, the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahushua, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. I'm not going to read anymore, but you can read the rest. It's a very good chapter right here. Second Corinthians 1, verse 14, as also ye have knowledge, ye have acknowledged us in part that we are your rejoicing, even as ye also are ours in the day of the Lord Yahushua. What is that? 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 2. For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord, the day Yahweh, singular, so cometh as a thief in the night. 2 Peter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord, singular, one day to come in the future, near future, will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. By what? The missiles. Okay, so it says the day of the Lord, right? Joel 2, verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. What does it mean by wonders in the heavens? It means signs in the heavens. Eclipses, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, planets aligning, meteorites, shooting stars. What was this meteorite that shot? It had 7 tails behind it. And I remember I would drive on the highway and I would look up and that thing was showing it, and you can actually count the 7 tails, which 7 means completion, right? Or destruction of Esau. And that was clearly a sign. It says lunar eclipse, solar eclipse are clearly signs in the heavens. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. So what does that mean? It means the destruction. Blood represents what? It represents dead or death. Moon represents understanding. Esau's understanding is going to be dead, but the moon is going to be darkened along with the sun because the missiles are going to cover the sky. 32nd verse, Joel 2, verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. And Mount Zion and Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So who's going to be delivered? Not the place, the people, starting with the elect. As Yahweh have said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call, which is the elect. Many are called, but few are chosen. You have to be called first and chosen. So now let's go back to, give me a second. When our Lord was crucified, it was on a lunar eclipse, a sign from the Most High, which Esau calls a lunar eclipse. Go back to Genesis 1, verse 14. If you can't get it, you can't get it. Okay, let me do this. All right, blood. Joel 2, verse 30. The sun shall be turned into darkness. What's going to make the sun turn into darkness? When you look up in the sky, high noon, you see the sun shining bright. Right now, if I look out my window, the sun is shining bright. In about another 4.5, 5 hours, the sun will eventually go down and it will be darkened. So what's going to make the sun darken? When those ICBM missiles cover the skies. And that's, in other words, Joel and any prophet that made this statement, the Most High brought them spiritually into America. So they're in America and they're looking up, like John. What did John see? John saw the chipping stations. John saw the people lying up getting chipped. And then he saw those same people that got Karagmut started suffering cancer, a grievous sore. Revelation 16, I believe that's the second verse. As a matter of fact, it is the second verse. Alex Jones just did a video and he came out and he said the MOTB, but he said it outright. And he said it was announced at that meeting. If you want to watch the actual video, you can go to my Odyssey page and you can watch it. Because these super controversial videos you can't put on YouTube. So I put them on Odyssey. Like if you go to the last 20 videos I put up, maybe even all of them, damn near all of them. If you put any of those Odyssey videos on YouTube, guaranteed they're gonna be taken down. So we're in the 31st verse again. The sun shall be turned into darkness when the missiles come, because it's going to literally darken the sky. It's going to block out the sun. Like clouds, a cloudy day, when it rains, the sun is out there, but it's dark. What makes it dark? The clouds, they're blocking out the sun. So what do you think the missiles are going to do? They're going to block out the sun and the moon. And blood represents death. It says, before the great and terrible day of Yahweh. So the great, before the missiles hit, the actual day of the Lord is when the missiles hit and people start dying. But right before that, everything gonna go black. They're gonna look and like, why is everything, cars are gonna pull over, why is everything going black? And remember, if you go to Luke 17, matter of fact, let me do that. Okay, let me go to Luke 17, because when the destruction comes, it's going to be, what's the term? As usual. What I said, I was going to go Luke 17. And a lot of our people, get in your mindset that your favorite cousin, he's going to die. If he ain't right with this truth, he's going to die. If Geno Jennings don't get his act together, he better grow a beard. He better put a robe on with some fridges on that bad boy. He better open up his sermons with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatum. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. And you better get a sign up in this church. And you better kick out them Edomites. And if there's a Hamite in the back, inside joke, you got to kick him out. That's always falling asleep. Your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your grandma, if she's still a Baptist eating pork, talking about if you can eat pork if you cook it right. Where's that in the scriptures? If you do not come under the right order of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Kodash, you will be destroyed if you're in America. So let's go to that, Luke 17. Bear me for 1 minute. There's going to be so many deaths that it's going to be, you're going to bug out. You, the average person, you're going to bug out. You Israelites. It said the elect were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High. Ain't gonna be joking around calling. Ain't nobody gonna call on no Jesus Christ. Ain't nobody gonna be in the ship saying, thank you, Jesus. They're not gonna be in the ship. So Bishop Nathaniel, you better start fixing your motherfucking mouth to start calling on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And you got this guy, Uriah, that broke off from y'all. He got this thing, something Christ in it. As a matter of fact, I don't want to go all over the place, but let me see if I can find this video. I might have. Let me see if this is it. This might not be it. But anyway, this guy got his own congregation, and part of the name of the congregation, somebody can find it, Uriah. I believe I'm trying my damnedest to find it. This may be it. Let me come back a few clicks. Come back another one. Come back another one. Come back another one. I don't think this is it. I don't know, it might be. Keep searching. Okay, no, I can't find it. But it's this guy, Captain Uriah, that was a part of, high-ranking member, part of the IUIC. Somebody can find it, please send it to me. I somehow went over it. Let me try this. That's not it either. I might get it. I might get it. I might get it. Okay, I can't find it. Please forgive me. If somebody finds it, please send it to me. But in the name of his organization has Christ. Now, why would you use Christ? Most High is not going to deliver you if you call on Jesus the Christ. Let's come back over here. Luke, second coming foretold. Luke 17, verse 22. And he said unto the disciples, the days will come. I want to go a little bit further down. Uh, 25th verse, Luke 17, 25. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man, meaning the day of the Lord. They did eat, they drank, it's going to be business as usual. That's why I said the reference was made by Peter, and then it's referenced in other parts of the scriptures that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. In other words, people are going to be marrying, giving in marriage, going out, doing things, having plans, driving, going to the hospital, going to the movies, going to the plays, Jake playing big whist and spades, niggas drinking 40s, someone snorting cocaine, whatever the case may be. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came, or the deluge came and destroyed them all. So the same thing's going to be if you're in the land of Babylon, you're going to be destroyed if you're not of the elect. Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out, and by the way, Lot is, if you're going to question, well, what is Lot now? Is he a heathen? Is he a Moabite? No, Lot is an Israelite right now. Paul referred to him as a righteous or just. The apostle Paul referred to Lot as just Lot, meaning just, righteous. Cornelius was known as a just man. So Cornelius, that's all the proof you need about Cornelius being the Israelite. That's all the proof you need about Lot being the Israelite. Abraham came back as an Israelite. His son Isaac came back as an Israelite. That's our Lord Yahushua. Jacob came back as an Israelite. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone, and that's what's going to happen now. It's going to rain fire and brimstone from heaven and destroy them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Another phrase for Son of Man is the day of the Lord, the day of Yahweh. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife. So you got to be ready. Anyway, I'm going to come back to what did I just do? Wait a minute. Okay, I'm still being recorded. Almost lost it. Okay, I'm back. Give me a second here. So the moon being turned into blood represents what? The moon's going to be blocked out. The moon is rarely seen in the daytime. Sometimes if you look, you see the moon. You see the outline of the moon. The moon is mostly in the night. So what does that blood represent? Blood represents death. Read Revelation, the 8th chapter. And I believe that's one of the precepts that I'm going to actually read. So blood represents death. It represents darkness. So if the moon was out, it's going to be dark. Anything that's out there in the great void, the great space, the bodies of the firmament, the outer firmament, space, the sun, the moon, the stars. You don't see stars in the daytime. You don't see the moon in the daytime. You see the sun in the daytime. You see the moon and the stars at the nighttime. Genesis 1, one light to rule the day, the other light to rule the night. He made the stars also for signs. So the part where it says blood is not talking about a lunar eclipse. It's talking about everything going to be darkened. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. On behalf of Esau, he's not going to have any answers. It says Joel 2 verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, because that's it. The missiles pelting the earth. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The stars shall withdraw their shining. If they're up in the sky, the cloud, and you can see them, they're not going to shine because they're going to be covered. You're not going to be able to see into beyond the firmament. Okay, it says 31st verse, the sun shall be turned into darkness, according to what? By the missiles, and the moon into blood. Blood, like I said, means death, darkness, a bad time. That's all it's talking about. This is not talking about a lunar eclipse. When the Lord was on the cross, that was a lunar eclipse. That's why everything got dark. Before the great and terrible day of the Lord. The great and terrible day of the Lord is when the missiles hit. So what are they going to see? The missiles are not going to come and then we're going to be delivered. What people are going to see, they're going to see dark. They're going to be about their business and everything going to go dark, and they're going to pull their cars over, and people are going to come out of their houses and businesses and so forth, and they're going to look up into the sky and like, what's going on? And then they're going to see the ships, and then they're going to see Revelation 11. Then they're going to see the elect being beamed up. And then the missiles are going to come, and they're going to see fire. And then they're going to go to, that says all the tribes, it said they shall gnash their teeth, all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. All the people of the earth, mainly the people in America, and whatever place is getting hit with missiles, which is mainly America. And then you're going to see the people around the world, they're going to be horrified too, because everything's going to be on the news. Everything's going to be breaking news. Oh my goodness, there's a darkness. What is going on? It's the middle of the daytime and everything went black. The sky is black. You can't see the sun. You can't see anything. Oh, there's people being beamed up. And I noticed that they're Black, Puerto Rican, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans. Ain't no white people, well, a couple of white people getting beamed up because they were Israelites that looked like Edomites. And then the missiles are going to come. See, to fulfill the prophecy, those people that are going to be judged, they have to see us being beamed up. Revelation 11. They have to see everything go dark. We're reading it right now. Joel 3 verse 15. The sun and the moon shall be darkened. How do we say it in other words? The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. Let's read it this way. The sun and the moon shall be darkened. Now, the Most High could have just said and the moon turned into blood. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. You know what I got to do? Let me go to this. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Why? Because of the missiles. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but Yahweh will be the hope of his people, the elect of Israel, and the strength of the what? Children of Israel. If you're going to question who is his people, well, the next line says, and the strength of the children of Israel. It's all talking about the same one event. Acts 20:22, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. This is Peter quoting the prophet Joel, Apostle Peter quoting the prophet Joel before the great and notable day of the Lord come. Revelation 6 verse 12, and I beheld when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. We read that. Joel was at 3:15, and the sun became black as sackcloth. Now I could have just said the sun became dark. The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Meaning what? The moon didn't start bleeding. It represented the moon. If you could see the moon up there, you see the sun up there. If you can see the moon, and there's many occasions when I looked up and saw the sun and saw the moon and saw a full moon, but you don't see it as clearly as in the night. And you really rarely can see the stars. When can you see the moon and the stars? One light to rule the day, the other light to rule the night. Genesis 1. He made the stars also. So the heavens, but right before the destruction comes, it's going to be a nice bright. It's not going to rain on that day, guaranteed. It's not going to rain on that day. It's not going to be cloudy on that day. But clouds are going to form. Those clouds that are going to form are those missiles. So when it says the moon became as blood, it's just being poetic. It's talking about darkness, a gloomy time, a time of distress, a time of mass death. Revelation 8 verse 12, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun. Now the third part, there's three parts of men: sons of men, sons of the power, which is the Most High, sons of God, which is Genesis 6. When it speaks about the sons of men saw the children of the sons of God saw the children of men, that they were fair, that they were fair, and they had children with them. It ain't talking about no hybrid demons or no angels. It's talking about, it is talking about angels, but angels in human bodies as the sons of God. It says, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon. Now, can that actually happen? No. It's talking about Esau's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Understanding means the moon. Wisdom is the sun. They're not going to have any way to get out of this. And the third part of the moon, which is Esau's understanding, and the third part of the stars. And as the third part of them, which are the Edomites, was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part. In other words, there's not going to be light on them. No way out. When you go to Isaiah 13, they're going to try to make a deal with the Russians. The Russians said, no, we don't want your damn money. Not for a third part of it. And the night likewise. Anyway, that's it. I hope I answered your question. Shalom.